Understood, Senator. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
So I just have, if I can, as I segue into you, we've still got time for you to do.
Yep.
Tell me, Mr. Carmody, are you familiar with some of the reports that have been put out by the ATSB in relation to drones?
Yes, Senator, I am familiar with their reports.
So they published how many encounters, as they're called, proximity encounters in 2016 here in Australia. That's great. Do you know how many there were?
No, I don't, Senator, off the top of my head.
Have you ever known the figure? I mean, is this information that would be told to you?
No, I have read, I do read the ATSB reports as they come out, Senator. I just can't remember the number of proximity events reported versus a number of them reported. I think there's a difference between the number reported and the number confirmed.
Well, not in this release, but
okay.
How many reports would there need to be of close proximities of drones and aircraft for you to be concerned? What's an acceptable number in your mind?
I can't answer that at the moment, Senator. It's a pretty hypothetical question.
Well, we're entitled, I'm told, to ask a hypothetical question as long as it doesn't go to... It goes to the operation of your agency. So, hypothetically, how many drones near encounters would you need to have before you thought that this was becoming an increasing problem?
My question would be, I suppose my statement would be confirmed, not just reports, Senator. I'd want them confirmed.
Well, they've got the RPS encounters 108 occurrences.
So 108 were reported over a period of
1 year.
1 year. But again, it's a question of how many of those were confirmed, Senator. I don't, without the context.
What does
Mr.
Carmody. So, Chair, help me out here, Mr. Carmody. My nephew's at 11,000 feet south of Perth. Zappo 1 goes flying in front of him. Straight away puts in a complaint to the ATSB. Not blaming the ATSB, there's no registration plate. What do you mean a confirmation?
Senator, I meant a confirmation
not bullshitting.
That the pilot saw a drone or it was a glider or it was a bird or it was... Obviously, Senator, if it zips past the windscreen, as you say, then the pilot has seen what he's seen.
So is that a confirmation?
If it is some distance away, Senator, is my point. How far away was it?
Now, Mr. Carmody, you're really starting to
was it?
now.
Was
what
it?
A load of crap.
Was it 2 kilometres away? Was it
well,
below you
listen,
or above
that doesn't matter. They've reported. They've reported occurrences from 2012 to 2016. So they've referred to them as an occurrence, not a report. Occurrences with involved proximity encounters with manned aircraft. 108 of them in the year 2016, last year. And since then, their same report talks about that the number of drones will double by the end of 2017, right? So we can assume that 108 occurrences could go to 216. That's an acceptable level? Let's assume that for a minute. Is that an acceptable level, Mr.
Senator,
Carmody?
I'm not saying... I don't believe it's an acceptable level. I don't know what an acceptable level is, but I said that this is a question of people reporting that they've seen something versus something being close enough to cause damage or cause a problem to an aircraft.
Senator Fawcett.
And
no, Senator Fawcett. I don't want to hear from you anymore, Mr. Carmody. Senator Fawcett.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Just to follow up briefly before Senator Back starts a different line of questioning. We have talked before when discussing RPAS, the fact that this should be a whole of government solution and not just the safety regulation but also import restrictions. And I raised the question at the time, have you engaged with other departments? So that includes you as well, Mr. Murdoch. And so at the time you had no answer for me. Can I ask the question again? Have you engaged with other departments specifically to look at import prohibitions for drones that do not meet a requirement that we may choose to lay down in terms of shaping the safety environment for drones to ensure compliance, where to date voluntary education by the form of things on your website or pieces of paper in the box have not proven to curtail or restrict the way that some people choose to use these devices?
Senator, the department has been scoping the issues of import controls. So that is part of the work which will feed into the government's position on these matters.
So, sorry, can you just clarify, when you say scoping, are you talking internally or have you engaged with other government departments?
My understanding is we have engaged with other government departments, but I'll confirm that on notice if Ms Spence can't help.
Senator, we've had some high-level discussions, but I'll take on notice any more detail that I can provide.
That is good. High-level discussions is a very vague term, Ms Spencer, so some more detail would be good. Thanks, Chair.